I'm Ryan LeStrange here with my good friend Dawson, and we want to come to all the New Breed Revivalists today. We want to share something with you. I heard a man say this: revivalists are atmosphere changers. In other words, we don't go into an atmosphere and just say, well, this is what the atmosphere is and we've got to deal with it. We go in with a mandate from God to bring shift. I believe there are a lot of revivalists who are local church ministers, who are prayer warriors, who are in the ministry of health. A revivalist is not just a preacher. It is somebody contending for a move of God in their region, in their church, in their family. And we've got to change atmospheres. There's a fascinating story in Mark 5 when Jesus walks into Jairus' home. His daughter has died, but Jesus has a word from the Lord to resurrect her. And Jesus shifts the atmosphere. He tells all those that are grieving to go out of the room, and he unites those who have faith to believe God for change. Now, I want you to think about this. We need to shift and change atmospheres. The Lord commissioned a group of people to wait in the upper room until the atmosphere changed. When that atmosphere changed as a result of people contending and praying, they went from fear into faith. They went from weakness into strength. They went from a few disciples to over 3,000, and the glory of God spilled out of that room onto the street. Let's go a step further. A sustained atmosphere creates a climate. If a climate is sustained long term, it creates a stronghold or a way of thinking. I believe the Lord wants to raise up revival climates. I believe the Lord wants to raise up climates filled with healing, filled with faith, filled with the move of God. You know, strongholds or systems of thought then create a culture. Now let's think about this, Pastor JoJo. What about a place that has a revival culture? What about a place that has a prayer culture, a healing culture, a prophetic culture? I believe the Lord wants to raise up revivalists who will shift atmospheres, open up climates, and bring a sustained climate that produces a culture.
Amen. You know, I know so many times, even in some of the meetings that we have in Texarkana, some people will come in, Ryan, and say, how come the presence of God is so strong here during your services, but in my home church it may not be as strong? And I always tell them, well, what did you do 5 days before the event?
Right.
Did you fast? Did y'all call a corporate fast? How many prayer meetings went up? And some of the most powerful meetings that we have the week before, we call a corporate fast. We have different people come in and contend and cry out for our city, cry out for our region, say, Lord, give us the name of a church. Give us the name of people that need to be in this meeting. I know when we travel out and we get ready to minister, that when you walk into a church, I can tell how much they've been praying, how much they've been fasting. You know, I believe that we're thermostats. We're not thermometers, that we do change the atmosphere. But one thing, pastors, I want you to know, when people come in, when they walk in, they're going to try to help take you to the next level, the next dimension. But you need to contend. I've seen a lot of times people will call revivalists or evangelists in and say, hey, I want you to bring the fire and the power of God. Well, that's great if an evangelist or revivalist does. When they leave, the fire is going to go with them. You've got to sustain that move of God, and you should fast and pray. And I know and I believe that some of the greatest move of God that are happening right now are from the pastors and the youth pastors and the deacons and the lay members who will contend in the place of prayer. So always be contending, seeking the Lord for those things. And we are atmosphere changers. And whenever you go to a meeting, when you go to your home church, you bring your revival fire. And your revival fire starts in the place of prayer. And if one person comes in, I've been in services where I was the only person I felt that was having revival. Then I've walked into other meetings where I felt there was 10 people or 100 people having revival. You bring your personal revival to the corporate house of God each and every week.